I believe in starting punctually.
And I'm going to move Pam over, even as an attendee. Give me 1 second there. All right, and then Howard's in to observe. Pam should be here.
First item on the agenda is minutes of the previous meeting of December 2nd, 2021.
I move to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor of accepting the minutes as written, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes have passed. Next item on the agenda is comments or concerns of any person present today. Hearing none, I'll move on to the DCP investigation complaint status report. Janita, Senior Inspector.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, board members. You should have two reports that were forwarded to you. One for the time frame November 1st, 2021 to December 21st, 2021, and one for the current 2-month period, January 1st, 2022 to February 28th of 2022.
What I received was three cases total, two involving the same individual. One was Ronald Webb, the other one was Dwayne Smith, can't read my own writing, Peterkin.
Yes, sir. The Ronald Webb file is from the November 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021 report
Okay.
for the Fire Protection Board. And we received we have a new case that's open and under investigation, and the Ronald Webb one was closed because it was unsubstantiated, and the respondent provided copies of the licenses to the inspector investigating it. And as we do with a lot of our files, we will say file and monitor and kind of keep an eye on things.
Can I ask a couple of questions? Ronald Webb, its case is closed, so it can be, I assume it can be discussed. He holds an F1. It said it was unsubstantiated.
Yep.
So could you please just elaborate?
I would have to get out of this meeting and get into the complaint records to be able to do that. I do apologize.
No, I understand.
No. We could provide you with information, yes. Unfortunately, I do apologize. I wasn't prepared to do that this morning.
Well, I'm just curious, when the case comes up some unsubstantiated, I mean, things go through my mind. I don't know, I can't speak for the other board members, but was it a, somebody made a claim falsely or what, or just?
It wouldn't.
Do you want me to look it up? What's the case file number? I can see if I can.
2021
-212.
212. Yep, 2021-212. Thank you.
Did you?
For the record, it's Pamela Brown, Director of Investigations.
Dave?
Yeah. Recognize your voice, Director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
David? Good morning, Pamela. I just wanted to check. Also, in that same note, it does say notes there that unsubstantiated, provided copies of licenses, file, and monitor.
Right. The respond.
I'm assuming somebody said we're doing unlicensed work and whatnot, and he provided it. I mean, it says under notes there, resolution notes.
Yes,
Right.
exactly what it says. It says the third party complainant alleges that the respondent company has unlicensed fire protection installers. It was at the construction site. The complainant also, when they filed the complaint, listed the wrong town. But the resolution, yes, unsubstantiated. Copies of the licenses were provided and it's listed under file and monitor.
So basically, it was an after the fact. Somebody filed a complaint that there was unlicensed individuals on a job site. There was nothing, naturally, there was probably no investigation coordinated with the time frame. So when you went, if you went, or however it was handled, none were found. So that's the reason the case is closed. That's my assumption. So that's what I'm trying to.
No, what, Mr. Chairman, every respondent, okay, and when there's a site that's involved, when I assign the file, I assign it for an inspection to be done. And if there's no violations on the day we're there, unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of an enormous group of staff I can keep sending back to the site. So whenever I get any complaint, not just your board, from anywhere that says is alleging unlicensed work going on a job site, it is assigned to have an inspection done at the site. And we also contact the respondent, owner of a company, or the F1 of the company, and we ask for records and information, and we continue with our investigation that way. The other thing is, if a respondent hires an attorney, then we have to deal with the attorney. We can't deal directly with them. But we do follow up with an inspection and an investigation of the complaint and the allegations. And we then work to get the information we need, either through the respondent directly or through their legal counsel. And what we're provided with, based on the allegations, we look at it and say, are the allegations substantiated? No, they're unsubstantiated. They provided licensing information. So it gets closed as unsubstantiated. The respondent, or through their attorney, provided licensing and apprenticeship information. And we then will file and monitor and keep an eye on that particular outfit. So if the name comes up again, when I assign a file to an inspector for investigation in a site inspection, I can say, aha, guess what? Here's the deal. This group came up again in 2021. They came up in 2021. You know, here's what we had then, and here's what I want you to look for now too.
Okay.
Okay. But
Yes.
I just want everybody to know, I do assign them for site inspections, and we do an investigation as well as the inspection.
No, I was just trying to clarify in my mind the fact that when you went to the site, if and when you went to the site, there was no violation. Therefore, you cannot cite the contractor for being in violation. That's basically.
No. Mr. Chairman, it's a two-part thing. Even though we go to the site and there's no violation on the day we go to the job site, when we're doing our investigation, if through the investigation, separate from us having been on the job site and there was no violation the day we were there, we will ask and say, oh, on such and such a day, who was there? What licenses do they hold? And who was there that week? Who was there after we were there? And then we compile that information. And if in compiling the rest of the investigation, we find that there were licensing violations, then we have something to report to legal for administrative action, or is it something that could be handled through an assurance of voluntary compliance and a forfeiture? So just
Also,
because
right-
there was nothing on the site that day doesn't mean that that's it for the investigation. No.
Okay.
Also, when this came in, I mean, this proposed a challenge right off the bat because the address was wrong, the company name was entered wrong on the complaint file. No general contractor information provided, and the respondent's company name was spelled incorrectly.
Okay. Now, my other question would be on the other Dwayne Smith Peterson, it's,
Yeah,
now, is that referred to as a civil, I mean, has it been referred to civil court or what, it's just a civil matter?
I think that they hit the inspector hit civil matter by accident, because if you look in the notes, it says file and monitor. And when they did the resolution, I believe they hit civil matter by accident. There's no civil court, any action or anything that we would do.
Okay,
So it should say, file and monitor.
okay, well, I when I saw a civil matter, I figured maybe there was something to it, but okay.
No, there's no.
It's a typo.
It is, it's,
Right.
there's no consumer that lost money that has to go sue this contractor in court,
Okay,
okay? It did involve job locations and site inspections. One had a site inspection. Obviously, the other one, the inspector said, no, they didn't, unfortunately, weren't able to get to that one. And we relied on the information from this particular person for this matter. But when we go to the inspection again, and we do an inspection, because I will say, to the best of your ability, when you're in that area, go to do this inspection. And investigate as well. So it's always a twofold thing. If somebody's saying, oh, we got an issue on this job site, not, like I said, not just the fire board, but electrical, plumbing, HVAC, glazier, elevator, yada, yada, yada. I will put that, yes, please do a site inspection and do your investigation. And I will also note if I recognize the name and the company name or the contractor name or both. And I will tell them to pay attention to, asking the following questions. So I try to guide them a little bit with their investigation, but these are license holders, and they are well qualified to go do their investigation and their inspection.
all right, thank you
As
very much.
always, if anybody is reporting a case to us where they have information where people are unlicensed, if they're on the job site, it's best for them to take photographs, provide us with whatever information that we can find useful to investigate this case, especially the correct name of the respondent, the address, because all of that's going to take time for us to figure out when we get it. We have to send out letters. We have to figure out where we're going. Correct information is always going to help us and save us time.
Yep. Well, thank you both for the explanations. Appreciate
Thank
it.
You're quite welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Well, moving right along, going into old business, backflow. The topic.
Leslie O'Brien is here. Can you
Oh,
hear
she
us?
is? Okay.
There she is, yeah.
I'm here.
Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning. I'm not sure why my camera's not on. I'm here.
Yeah. Anything additional to report?
I'm not.
She's breaking up. I don't know. I'm not hearing her.
Sorry.
Give her 1 second. There you go. That way she can use her camera.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be reporting at this point.
Well, I might have to go back to my last minute.
The way we left the backflow issue was, I think that in the meeting that I attended with you all, I think in early December, I said, my advice was to work this out with the plumbing board, that you all needed to get on the same page. So,
Plumbing board is not receptive, Leslie. I just have to let you know, that
okay,
he's,
well, I don't have anything to report. I
Okay,
don't,
all right.
I mean, if you all need to try to figure out a way to work it out with them. We can't, that's sort of,
my guess would be to introduce legislation to put it back in, put the installation of the backflow on a fire line back into a sprinkler and let the chips fall. Because right now it's
that's your prerogative. I can't, we DCP cannot ask for that. The governor's office is not going to sign off on something that boards don't both agree on. And then frankly, I don't know what the general law committee will do with two licensing boards in conflict over something like this. We have an issue with a different board where they want something changed, and there's non-licensed trades who don't agree with the change, and we can't. There's because of that, we're at a stalemate there. My advice to you is to try to work something out with the plumbing board, because I don't foresee, if the trades aren't on the same page, that you're going to get very far. But I do know that on our end, as an agency, unless you're all on the same page, I don't foresee getting sign off to submit a request for a legislative change.
well, it's to me, it's idiotic to have a device not put it, especially when they're not licensed to work on a fire protection system. So, I mean, it's like, to me, as a layman, I'm not an attorney or anything, but it's contrary to common sense. And it's like saying, if you go to the dentist, back when he used to use silver for fillings, the dentist had to bring a silversmith in to put the fillings in. That's what it's.
Right.
Analogy.
Again, this is not, I'm like Switzerland on this. I can't, this is something you all need to work out.
All right, well, like I say, I did take your advice. I reached out to Chairman Appleby, very obstinate, and let the record show he was, I mean, actually had terminated the call because he didn't want to even budge. He didn't want to discuss it. So, it's.
Well, I will pass it along, but to the commissioner, but
Well, like I say, that's what I have to report to my, the fire board, as chairman. I did reach out to him, and like I say, I mean, I look in retrospect. I mean, the fire board bent over backwards to create a new category license to assist the plumber with the multi-purpose systems, and then for him to take a stand like that and be so, I mean, we're not looking to take any work from anybody.
I would recommend that you all try to schedule a meeting or something with them to try to work this out.
Well, that's easier said than done in this.
I understand, but I'm sort of stuck.
No, I say in this day and age, is having a meeting, I mean, I do not like these Zoom meetings to start with, and when I asked last meeting when we're gonna go back in the meetings, and I was told never by somebody from DCP staff, so
they said never?
Well, I said, when will we go back to, in-person meetings? And they said, probably never, so this is
I don't know that, I don't know who said probably never, but I don't know that that's accurate.
Yeah, so, like I say, but, all right, Leslie, I appreciate your,
Sorry.
I don't know whatever avenues we can go down,
David.
Yes, sir.
My suggestion is, why don't you appear before the plumbing board, the entire board, and express your views and concerns, so you have the entire board that may be familiar with what's going on when it comes to backflow prevention devices, and how certain times maybe a fire protection sprinkler person wants to install one, and work that approach.
No, I appreciate
Getting one person's opinion.
Well, then between you and Karen, if the next plumbing board, be included as a, either a participant or however it can be, I mean, it's.
Well, Karen could put you on the next plumbing board agenda as an item for discussion of backflow prevention devices.
Okay. Appreciate that, Richard. Do you know when our next meeting is, Karen?
Yes, it's April 21st.
All right. All right. We'll go down that. We'll try that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. All right. Moving on to new business. Application Review Working Group. Well, since we last met back in December, there's been 3 working group meetings. There's one on the 6th of January. One applicant, Christopher Ledbetter, he applied for an F1. He never registered with the DOL. He was denied his application. That was it, that meeting. February 3rd of this year, meeting was quite lengthy. Several applicants. Excuse me. James Colby, he applied for an F4. He provided the required documentation and everything. He was recommended to be approved. Luke Galletta, he applied for an F1 from the state of Washington. He was a journeyman, certified journeyman in Washington State. He held no F2 in the state of Connecticut, but Paulette, attorney, was attended the meeting, and I actually put it in quotation. She says the equivalency applies here. So, because all the state says you have to have a comparable or equivalent experience. So, but there was a request. It was tabled. It was a request regarding information, for Washington state laws and more detail for his experience and training. So that was tabled. Christopher Ledbetter was a previous month. He applying for an F1. He added several letters stating completion of an NFSA apprenticeship, which was, there was no, I guess he said afterwards, he admitted it was a typo. It should have been AFSA, but he had letters from his employer stating 5 years. He did complete the 4-level training certificate of training for AFSA. And bear in mind, there was, at this meeting is Richard and from representing the department, and Todd Birch representing the Department of Labor. The state statute gives no credit for undocumented time. The individual was never registered. Let me see. Goes on to it. I ran out of room. I had to flip over. There were several statutes and regulations cited. He did amend his application to F2, and Paulette, again, the attorney, asked, what does he need? And the answer from the Department of Labor, he needs an apprenticeship completion. So he was told the employer has to register him as an apprentice, and Richard had said that they have considered unregistered time in the past, and he was denied the F1. Prove him for the F2. That was Richard's recommendation. So we asked for notarized letters specifying dates and duties of employment, so he could apply for the F2. So it was tabled until further notice, further information is provided. Also at that meeting, Michael Simons applied for an F3. He did not hold an F4, but he holds a certificate from Rhode Island. He did switch his he was in person. He did switch his application to F4, and based on the information provided, he was approved for the F4 on the recommendation of Richard and Todd. And that was that month. March this month, Luke Gaeta again. Provided, he was denied the F1 on February. He provided a state of Washington's journeyman's license, no related instruction. There is no related instruction in Washington. And the recommendation is once he provides the related instruction, he could sit for the F2. That was the application reviews for the last quarter. Any questions? No, hearing none. Any other new business?
I would recommend that maybe Karen reach out to Chief Flood and ask him to submit a resignation letter from the board since he hasn't appeared in over a year. And that way the governor can appoint another local fire marshal member.
I thought we didn't do, the department didn't do that. I mean, it came up in the past when we
Well,
got.
we're not, it just send him an email, just asking him if he would like to send in a letter of resignation because of the fact that he's not able to ever make the meeting minutes.
Okay.
And then see what he says. And hopefully he'll send something so a local fire marshal can be on the board.
Tony?
Just a quick question, Richard. I thought, I could be wrong, maybe it's another board I'm on, something else. But I thought if you missed a certain number of meetings in a certain time of period, you're automatically off the board.
Well, you are. If you miss, I think it's 50% or more meetings a year, or it's usually 3 out of the 4. Then you're deemed to have resigned, and that's in the statute.
Okay,
But our agency can't enforce that. That would be a governor's decision. So what we normally do is just try to get a hold of the person and say, look, we can't really have the position deemed vacant until you at least send us a letter saying you're not interested in serving anymore. So that's the lighter way of doing it.
Yeah, it's the easiest, cleanest way. Yeah.
Right. And I don't believe he wants to be on the board because he hasn't appeared in over a year. And I'm sure he's busy or what have you. And maybe he sent something to the governor's office, but we didn't find out. But in the meantime, we have him listed as a board member. And so we need to change it to a vacancy so someone that's interested as a local fire marshal can apply to the governor's office and be appointed.
A while back, he sent me an email, call me. I called him a couple times, and to my understanding, he's changed jobs from West. I don't know. He went to West Haven to South Shore or something.
Went to West Shore.
Whatever, West Shore or whatever.
Another district in West Haven.
Right, but I mean, so like I said, but I never, that's the only reason I know that is because that was a phone message, but he's never contacted me back. I left.
And he could even send an email and just fully explain that he no longer wants to serve on the board as a local fire marshal member, and then we could forward it on to the commissioner's office to get to the governor's office.
All right, that's your Karen.
Yes, so I did reach out to him because he did switch jobs and he changed his email address. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't the issue. So this month, I sent him an email just saying, hey, I want to confirm that you're getting this information and so on. And he did. He emailed back saying, yes, it was received. Thank you. So I thought maybe he might appear, but I did eliminate that, if it was an incorrect email. So yes, I'll send him an email and just see what his thoughts are since he has not attended the board meetings in such a long time. If he did want to resign, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Like I say, I would never, because like I say, I remember when we used to meet monthly, and there was, if you missed 3 in a row, or if you missed 50% of the meetings in a calendar year, you were automatically. I mean, again, I thought it was an automatic thing, and then I didn't know it had to go before the governor to be. Once if you say, if you're going over 55, you're speeding, but if the state trooper says, okay, no, 60's fine, you know, I mean, I don't know, but like I say, it's just, I hate to see anybody kicked off the board for, you know, you don't know the issues involved. So again, best way, like you said, Richard, I appreciate the suggestion. Karen reaching out and finding out what his pleasure is as far as continuing to serve. Thank you. Correspondence, I don't think we have any. Comments and concerns, anybody present? Hearing none. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
The second,
I'll second it.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And meeting is adjourned at 9:32. Everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll
Take
see.
care all. Stay well, everyone. And